Carol. It's just past 11:30 on LBC. The news headlines with Serena Farrow.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Wait.
I can't wait another moment. 0345 6060 973. Al texts, Elon Musk missed a bargain. He could have bought a world-beating track and trace app with about 5 users for a mere £37 billion. Yeah. Well, someone's got to buy it. Chatham, Paul.
Hi, Nick. I thought I'd ring because I heard you mention once or twice that you have rather a lot of text to read through, so I thought I'd...
Far too many.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that I unfortunately believe that Bojo is probably going to get in the next election. Several people that I've spoken to over the last couple of months believe that he's the best Prime Minister we've ever had.
What?
Yes, unfortunately. And I thought, particularly a conversation I had today, I thought they were actually joking, but he was genuinely
befuddled,
being honest. Yeah. Well, maybe he was ill or something. I don't know, but he genuinely believed that he was the one of the best prime ministers we've ever had.
What kind of noise would you have to have going on in your mind to think that Boris Johnson was one of the best prime ministers we've ever had? That don't make no sense on any level.
Well, I mean, I was in a barber's getting my hair cut, and I tried to restrain myself. Unfortunately, I did, to not say anything, because the guy in front of me was talking to the hairdresser, expressing his love for Bojo and how amazing he was. And so, unfortunately, I've got this depressing feeling that he's actually going to... And I think you're completely right about the Ukraine situation. I mean, as dreadful as that is, I think that he's using it to his advantage to kind of gloss over everything that's going on at the moment.
It's a perfect opportunity for him to take a big risk. And if he loses, then all of us die. He'll be okay because he'll be in a government-approved bunker with hot and cold running servants and food, and he'll have his video collection down there and all the rest of it. He'll be able to live there for years, no problem at all. And if he wins, then he will go down in history as in his mind, I imagine, as one of the greatest leaders that we've ever had.
Oh yeah, I mean, if the worst did come to the worst, then you'd have a whole world populated by the spawn of Eton, which would be very bad indeed.
Yes.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if they did survive, and if the cabinet survived, and and the human race was survived by their offspring, then I'd give the human race about 6 months after they emerge from their bunker.
Yeah, I mean, because I was watching, I found something on YouTube which was led by donkeys, and it was about the amount of Russian money that had gone through London.
Huge.
And it was absolutely shocking.
Yeah, it is.
And it seems quite hypocritical now for them to kind of say what they're trying to say now with
exactly right. I bet that's one of the reasons that Vladimir Putin is so annoyed, because I would imagine that Vladimir Putin thought that he had bought and paid for the Conservative Party, and he's trying to figure out he's trying to figure out how to return them because they're not performing as advertised.
I mean, the thing is, when I see Putin on TV, I kind of laugh, but because he looks so ridiculous. But in another way, I kind of shudder because of the imminent death of nuclear war.
Yeah, a small thing about the end of all life on Earth.
I mean, but that's the thing. I don't think that it's getting through that this is possibly the worst government that has ever existed.
Well, I think that most people who aren't deluded have come to that conclusion. Yeah, it's certainly the worst government that I have ever lived through, the worst collection of charlatans and graspers that I've ever seen in my life, running any country that I'm aware of.
Yes, it's very true. It's like what you say. It's like a smash and grab.
It's not a government. It's a smash and grab raid, precisely.
Yeah. I'm quite distressed about it all, but,
But never mind, it's just life. Yeah, never
mind.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, good to talk to you. Thanks a lot, Paul. 0345 6060 973. Yeah, how did we get to this position?
It can only be attributable to human error.
Human error. Mary says the problem with an edit button on Twitter is that I could tweet, "I'm really worried about climate change," and you reply, "Me too," and then I could change my original tweet to "I watch porn at work." Huh. That's an interesting thought. I hadn't thunk about that, Mary. Keep thinking, it's what you do best. I had a medical today for a mortgage, and I got measured, and I've shrunk. I used to be 5'10", now I'm 3'6". What's that about? Either her tape measure was wrong, or I am. But you know me, I never complain.
Whinging and whining and moaning.
Charles tweets, so Kia and Angela were on the booze during lockdown. Well, what a surprise, how shocking. What about? What about this and what about that? Yeah, well, what about? If we were led by whatabouts, nobody would ever go to prison for anything at all. Because they'd stand up in front of the judge and say, well, okay, I killed 6 people, but what about all those other people that killed someone and didn't get caught? What about that? Let's have a call in Teignmouth. Hello, David. Oh, David. Oh, David. Too late. To be fair, he had been waiting for a very long time. Sorry about that. Woolwich. Hello, Richard.
Hi. I'm on duty. Hello.
What are you on duty doing?
No, I'm not. I'm here. Nick, I just had a disturbing thought. I just thought, well, if Johnson is down in that bunker procreating for the sake of the future of mankind or humankind, I'm just wondering who in the cabinet he would choose.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Richard. Use? Come on. 0345 6060 973. Side text, was the first record you bought really Andy Williams, Whispering in the Dark? Whispering in the Dark. I must check it out. That was a conversation I must have been having years ago on this show. I haven't mentioned that record in years. How have you just pulled that out of the air? But it wasn't the first record I bought, but it was the first record I owned. I think I was given it. And I maintain that is an excellent record, both sides. It was Home Loving Man was side A. Rock and roll! Which is an excellent track. Andy Williams, Home Loving Man. And Whistling in the Dark was on the B side. Very, very good indeed. Jeremy says, go and see the Northman film. What's that? I recommend Batman 2, says Jeremy, which means that I can disregard his first suggestion because I'm not going to go see Batman. I'm not 12. Have you seen Batman?
I think he said choose.
Sorry?
Have you seen Batman?
No.
No, of course not. He's not 12 either. 13 now. 13 years old. I'll give you a balloon and like one of them party popper things. We're having a party. Annette emails, Elon now owns everyone's chit-chat, worth a fortune. I can't imagine that he's going to be able to make any money out of it. I just can't imagine it. How's he going to make money out of Twitter? Twitter hasn't made any money, like, ever. I think they made $180 million in the last quarter, something like that. But they've got enough debt to sink a battleship. And I think only in maybe 2 quarters in the entire history of that company's existence have they actually made any money. All of those tech companies, they don't make any money. Not all of them, but many of them. Many of those £1 billion valued tech companies, how is it worth £1 billion? They haven't made a bean He paid, $43 billion, something like that. Lloyd says, you talk the biggest load of nonsense I've ever heard. I don't know whether to take that badly or well. Well or badly. I'm going to take that as a compliment. Appreciate it, Lloyd.
Thank you.
0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbot, LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbot.
Are you trying to be funny? Because I'm all out of laughs.
No, there's nothing funny about it. Paul tweets, you're absolutely right about Johnson gambling the country on the Ukraine situation. He did exactly the same with the vaccine procurement. Track and trace was failing, so he gambled and threw potloads of money to buy every potential vaccine on the market. Yeah, he did. That's right. Because if he got it right, by sheer dumb luck, then he's a hero. If he gets it wrong, well, it's just a boatload of our money. There's no downside for him. There's only upside. Same with barging to the front and saying that he cares about Ukraine more than any other leader in the whole wide world, which is curious because, as I said, in the 7 years running up to the invasion of Ukraine, when people in the know were saying that this is exactly what Vladimir Putin is going to do, and the Ukrainians thought that that's exactly what he was going to do, the Ukrainians were begging the Conservative administration for munitions, for weaponry, for defence kit, and all of that stuff. And the Conservative administration, for 7 long years, said,
No, 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 no.
They said no. And now suddenly they're more concerned than anybody on earth. Right. I'll restate my case. Right at the beginning of the show, I said, you've got 2 choices. Either Boris Johnson is selflessly acting in the interests of others. I'll just pause, let that sink in. You can mull over that for a while. Boris Johnson selflessly acting in the interests of others, or he is acting in his own interests.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Select. Those are the only 2 choices available. And if he ignores Vlad the Insaner's threats to blow this country, specifically this country, he keeps saying us, and it wouldn't require but 1 missile and we'd all be gone. So, the gamble is that Vlad the Insaner is not so insane that he's going to do that. And it's the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card. All other things that are wrong with his personality, everything else that he's done wrong, will be just swept aside in much the same way as Churchill. Think of Churchill, and nobody talks about the bad stuff. And the very few people that do get yelled down like they're not being patriotic enough. It'll be the same thing with Bodger. If he can gamble the country, then he will go down in the history books as a great leader, a great wartime leader. He is Churchill Mark II. Churchill the sequel. So the upside is enormous. All of this other stuff, Partygate, the massive corruption that is associated with his regime, the hundreds of billions of pounds that have just disappeared, the trashing the economy, selling off all our, whatever good stuff we've still got left in the drawers, all of that to be totally disappeared, and he'll be Boris Johnson, hero, forever. People will be writing history books about him, lionising him. And if he loses, well, it's an outside chance that Vladimir Putin will actually vote to end all life on Earth. But if he does, then who's going to be around to read the book about that? No one. And he'll be safe in his bunker underneath number 10. I imagine that's where it is. And I would also imagine that he's had a stripper pole installed for the very purpose.
Disgusting.
So, that's where we're at. What a way to run a country, eh?
Dreadful.
0345 6060 973. Carnforth. Hey up, Annie.
Hey up, Nick. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Good. Yeah, I'm not sure about. I think possibly the cost of living crisis might do for Bodger if we haven't been wiped off the face of this country by then.
I don't know.
But I don't know. And actually, I mean, Vlad the Insaner might not sort of drop and go for full-out world nuclear war. He might just do one of those tactical nuclear weapons that would conveniently just wipe us out.
A little light nuclear weapon, actually.
Yes. God. Oh, I didn't ring you up about that, actually. I thought, I can't cope with all this anymore. I've just gone beyond it. I rang you up to say, well, I probably will be very unpopular and people will probably be shouting at the radio about what I'm about to say.
Uh-oh.
But, you were saying about the passport office and everything.
Oh, yeah.
How, people can't get their passports at the moment. Well, there is an upside to that, that we'll all be, a lot less of us will be flying about pointlessly polluting the planet. So it might, there is an upside to it.
Yes. Be happy with what you got here. This is a beautiful country. There must be an enormous amount of it that you haven't experienced yet, people. Have a staycation, why don't you?
Definitely. There's some gorgeous parts. I love this country. I've only ever flown once, actually, and didn't much care for that. I mean, I have been abroad quite a bit and been travelling and things, but that was overland, not flying. I don't like flying anyway.
No, well, nobody really does like flying. I mean, what's to like about it? The enormous queues, the dreadful food, the terrible seat, even in good seats, and the few occasions that I've actually sat in the good seats, there's still bad seats because you're in this screaming metal tube.
Yes, no, awful. Don't fly anywhere. But one of the worst things, apparently, is all this short-haul flying that people do, because people do a lot of it. Like, we'll just go to Prague for the weekend or Paris or somewhere. Well, nobody needs to do that. For heaven's sake, go to the Lake District for a weekend, or Mid-Wales, or Scotland, or all manner of beautiful places, Cornwall.
Exactly. Keep the money in the country, honey.
Yeah. The Yorkshire Dales.
Real.
Well, I don't know about real. But no, it's a fantastic country. I love this country. When I was well enough to go on holidays, we did used to go all over the place in this country.
Yeah.
And actually living here, I always feel, ever since we've lived up here, I always feel like we're on holiday anyway, because there's loads of really lovely places round here.
Right.
We're near the Lake District, we're near the Yorkshire Dales. That's only about half an hour away.
And people want to de-stress. That's why people go on holiday. They want to de-stress. They want to just do nothing. And the part of the holiday where you leave and go to another country, enormously stressful, particularly now, because you've got to make sure you've got your COVID pass, you've got to make sure that you've got all your jabs, you've got to make sure that there's whether the country is going to insist on a negative test, you've got to queue for 3 hours to get through passport control because we're not a member of the European Union anymore, and so it just goes on and on and on. You've got to make sure that you get to the airport in time, you've got to worry about your plane being cancelled, because they're cancelling them left, right and centre now. I mean, you'd need a holiday just to get over the stress of taking a holiday.
Definitely. It just sounds dreadful. Don't do it to people. And as far I was going to talk to you as well about the no-mow May.
The what? Oh,
the no mowing in May.
Right,
I have heard about that before, but actually our garden has just been today and mowed the lawn. But as far as insects and things are concerned, people just need to, stop concreting over their front gardens for a start, and just grow plants that are good for pollinators. That's what I mainly grow in our garden. There's so many plants that, because we've got quite a lot of things out now, and our garden is full of bees at the moment and hoverflies.
What's weird is that
bloody gnats as well.
Gnats. The first thing we want to do with a garden is make it a monoculture. Perfectly even lawn. It just seems a bit weird. If you just let it grow, what would be the difference? I mean, how much worse would it be to walk on or have the kids play football on or whatever it is if you just let it grow? I mean, if you let it grow, then it would be populated with flowers that would make the bees and the insects happy. And if they're happy, we're happy because they do all the not fertilizing. What do you call it? Where they have hot insect...
pollinating.
Yeah, the pollinating. Yeah, they do all the pollinating that we can't do, and if they stop doing it, then we won't have anything to eat.
We're screwed, yes, definitely. But actually, if you just let the grass grow, you can just get loads of grass, or eventually you can, because we had another house a while ago, and the front garden did go completely wild, partly because I was not well enough to do anything, and my partner doesn't really care much about gardening, so you just let the front garden go wild. And at first, there was quite a lot of oxeye daisies and buttercups and things like that, but then after a while, the grass took over. So I think you have to manage your wild bit if you're going to have a wild bit, and maybe plant some, seed some wildflowers as well, and kind of control it a bit, because otherwise you just end up with loads of knee-high grass.
Or just put gravel down and to hell with it.
Oh, no, definitely not. No, I mean, at the moment, we've got a lot of different geraniums out, and I don't mean those ones that people have in hanging baskets or in pots and things. I mean the hardy geraniums that you have in your garden that come up every year, and bees absolutely love those, especially blue or purple ones. They love blue and purple flowers, bees, apparently. It's something to do with the way they see. They particularly like blue and purple flowers, and things like geraniums, hardy geraniums, and what else do they like? The aquiledias. We've got lots of aquiledias, and we've got a pond, and there's some very old, crazy paving around it, and all the bits of cement.
How crazy is it?
Fairly
crazy, right.
It is pretty crazy now, because all the old cement has come out of it, and I just let everything grow up. Some of what people would call weeds. I mean, things like Welsh poppies, I just let them pop up everywhere.
It sounds crazy. It sounds out of control over at your place.
It's a bit wild, yeah. We had one gardener come who really, I'd get rid of her after 3 times because she kept trying to, she said to me, "I've been a gardener for 30 years, she said. She said, "and I like my gardens neat and tidy." Right. And I thought, oh, my God, I do not like my garden neat and tidy. I like it informal and natural-looking and a bit wild.
You're fired.
Yeah, she did. She got fired. But I have an absolutely lovely gardener now who is very into music, and I have to restrain myself from wasting the time when he should be working when we get into talking about music.
No, don't talk to the gardener. Let him get on with it.
Let him get on with the job.
Don't bring them tea, because they'll start chatting, and half an hour later it'll be time for them to go, and they'll still want paying. So
exactly.
Think of that. All right, thanks a lot, Annie. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. So I do want to talk about passports and travel in general, because I'm going to be doing a bit of traveling myself, which is unusual for me. I mean, I don't take holidays ever, but I've decided that I deserve 2 days away. I'm a good boy, I am. Why can't I take 2 days away? I pay my taxes. So that and more coming up after the new news at 12 on LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Everything is going extremely well.
How may I help you?
Well, timing would be good. If you can help me with timing, that would be excellent. Appreciate it. 0345 6060 973. I just can't get over that bloke saying, I've got no idea what I was doing. I'll have to wait until the inquiry releases its report. How silly is that? The actual quote was, he was accused, the fellow accused of watching pornography in Parliament. He claims that, or promises even, that he's going to carry on performing his duties. Is that a euphemism?
Disgusting.
You allowed to do that? Anita texts, maybe that's why they don't want to help the nation with the cost of living crises. They need the money to fill the fridge in the bunker with alcohol.
Booze.
Correct. Couple of 3 suitcases of it. Lou says, I'm 5 miles from Sizewell Nuclear Power Station, just checking the quickest route there. At the very idea that the human race is going to be survived by the offspring of the cabinet. Because they'll be fine. They just got to nip downstairs and seal the doors. It's all the rest of us that are going to be literally toast. Pam tweets, I'm terrified of the nuclear bomb. I can't sleep at night. Oh, well, I hope that this show is helping, Pam. Stanwell. Hello, Michael.
Hello.
Michael.
Hello there.
Hello there.
How are you doing?
Great, mate.
Good stuff. Yeah, just I'd like your opinion. We know how Geoffrey Cox is. He's a champion for fraud. As we know what happened when it was exposed that he was using his services to defend fraud in the Virgin Islands. I just wondered
he's not a champion for fraud. He was.
Well, that's what he was defending.
Okay, but I don't think fraud was proven in that case, was it? I can't remember what the outcome of the case was.
I know lots of people don't. It's very hard to get that information for some reason. I was just wondering if he was going to be the lawyer in charge of the government in the Virgin Islands now that they've been busted by the FBI.
Oh, switch to the other side.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if he's up against the FBI, then he probably won't take the case, I would imagine.
Well, I don't know. I've got no clue. And it's not the British Virgin Islands as a whole that was arrested by the FBI. It was just the...
No.
I can't remember who it was.
There's different places in, obviously, the Virgin Islands. There's quite a few islands. But they're all...
no, it's one chap, isn't it? It was Andrew Fahey, the territory's Minister of Finance.
Right, okay. But what I'm saying is they're going to need a defence lawyer.
Yeah.
And I just wondered if, because as Geoffrey Cox likes to stand up for people that are in trouble when it comes to fraud and stuff like that, if he's going to stand in and offer his services.
Well, let's hope that if he does, he can maintain his record of acting in the interests of his electorate while he's doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out.
It certainly will. All right, keep me posted. Thanks a lot, Michael. Paul says, it's win-win for Boris. If Putin blows up the world, it's PM for life in an indefinite party karaoke bunker. Can you imagine? Oh, he'll be having a fine old time down there. I bet he's making up the guest list right now, as a matter of fact. Sheila says, it's easy for him to think he's leading the way when he's at the back of the queue facing the wrong way. Well, it's that old thing where Bodger is the kind of fella who barges to the front of a parade and says, follow me. Side text, tell Sky, not the Sky, but I think this was a person that I was talking to some while ago on this show. Tell Sky not to feel self-conscious about her name. I look up to her. A listener with material. Alexandra says, spread the disease by anthrax is okay. We're talking about music.
Rock and roll!
Well, we could loosely describe it as music. Spread the disease by anthrax is okay, but not in the same league as... What?
So obviously, but I know certainly, but but obviously.
How many ums and ers does that man use? All of them. All of them. Anyway, Alexandra texts, spread the disease by anthrax is okay, but not in the same league of punky metal as I Am the Law. Much better is Depeche Mode's Shake the Disease, which is a dark synth pop masterclass. Depeche Mode. It's a no from me, Alexandra, and furthermore... No. But thanks for asking. Kingston, Sophie.
Oh, gosh. Hello.
Sophie.
Nick. Hi, Nick. Just on the back of...
Where are you, Sophie?
I'm in Kingston
No.
upon Thames.
No, I know you're in Kingston, but in Kingston, where are you? What? Describe the room that you are in.
My dining room.
Blimey, you want to get some carpets on the floor or some fabric on the walls or something. Have you got curtains up?
No.
It's a bit echoey.
Oh, sorry. Wooden floor, no curtains.
Right. See, I was completely correct in every respect. Don't you find it a bit sort of cold and atmosphereless in there?
Yes, because I have no heating, my dear.
Oh no, I meant cold atmosphere-wise.
Yeah, I have no heating.
No, but I didn't mean heat-wise. I mean atmosphere-wise.
Yes, it's okay. Anyway, regarding...
How can you not have any heating?
Because I'm 62 and I'm poor.
62 years old, so we haven't got the heating on. And I tell you what, it is. I wish it would get warm. This is getting so tiring, isn't it? Around about this time of year, I know it happens every year. I should be used to it by now. But you just think, oh, will it please is it ever going to get warm? I had the heating on today. It was blooming freezing. I had luxury heating on, Sophie. I thought, to hell with it, I'm just going to do it. I don't care if they take me to jail for not being able to pay my bill.
Yeah, well, you're lucky. because I didn't. Anyway. Regarding passports.
Ah, yes.
And Annie's call. I love Annie's calls.
Yes.
She's brilliant. Especially regarding people with disabilities. I have a daughter with a disability, and I went to the bank and I said, I want to open a bank account for my daughter, Rachel, who's got profound and multiple learning disabilities. And they said, you need a driving licence, but she can't speak, she can't read or write. I'd already explained all of that to them before. I'd explained, what Rachel was like. So she doesn't have a driving licence and she doesn't have a passport.
Oh, tricky.
Very tricky, yes, because she's never been out of the country. Right. But she's been in the Royal Borough of Kingston for her whole life and has notes up to the ceiling regarding her condition, the GP, consultant, speech language therapy, her school. But no, none of that's good enough because she has to have a passport. Because that's what the computer says.
Affirmative.
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm standing there and I'm saying to the guy, well, we'll bring in her support worker where she's now living because she needs a separate account.
Can't you open an account on her behalf in your... Can you open an account for somebody else with your details? I don't know if you can or not. I mean, if she trusts you...
No, because I want her disability living allowance and her ESA to be transferred into this account.
Right.
Because I could drop dead tomorrow, and then what's going to happen, So this is really complicated. Anyway, and Annie would understand all of this because she's brilliant. And this is it.
So have you managed to do it then?
No.
No, right.
Of course not.
Of course not.
And I have an account with this bank, and I had a mortgage with this bank.
And they said, "Who are you?"
Exactly.
Well, I have no answer for that, Sophie. I don't know how they work. I don't know what is in their minds, what procedures they follow, or any of the above. But I do wish you all the best, and I hope it works out for you. Thanks, Sophie. 0345 6060 973. Justin says, have you still got car envy for Steve Allen's Bentley? With all this overtime, you could afford his old one. Actually, no. I couldn't afford to put petrol in his old one. Why does anybody need a car as big as an oligarch's yacht? That's not saving the planet, Steve. I want you to start commuting on an e-scooter. Hands up who wants to see Steve Allen commuting on an e-scooter. Keep them up while I count. Everyone! It's decided. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Listen to him. He knows everything.
0345 6060 973. Tanya texts, ne'er cast a clout till May is out refers to the tree, not the month. And by the way, what's a nardicot? There's a tree called a May. I don't think it relates to a tree. There isn't a tree called a May, is there? Ne'er cast a clout. I think that's don't take a piece of clothing off until May is out. That just makes sense. Don't go out the house in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt until May is out. Okay, here comes some more information. Hawthorn or May is rarely in flower on the first day of May. Oh, right. But it also applies to the month too, surely. I mean, you don't want to take your woolen underwear off before the end of May. Trust me. And you can thank me later. No, wait. I've changed my mind. You can thank me now.
Thank you.
John says, do you remember your very first broadcast? No. I should do, but I don't. I think my very first broadcast would have been on University Radio Brunel. URB. And I don't remember anything about it. I chose the university that I went to because it had a radio station. I do know that. But I can't remember what my first broadcast on that was. And I guess the first thing that I did for money was at the Virgin Megastore, as it was. Used to be this sort of hippie hangout where people occasionally did work. The way it used to be run, it was just extraordinary, really. That was a lot of fun. That shop doesn't exist anymore, and it hadn't existed in that form for decades. I guess my first radio gig was Radio Luxembourg. I don't remember my first show on that either. I remember my first show on LBC. That was eventful and very short. But I've mentioned that many, many times before, so I won't go into that again. 0345 6060 973. Tooting. Hello, Jan.
Hi, is this me? Is this Jan Tooting or Yorkshire? Is that me? Are you speaking to me? I'm not quite sure, because last time I got confused because there's a Jan in Yorkshire and I thought it was me. Are you speaking to Jan in Tooting?
Are you speaking to me? Are you talking to me?
Oh, no, wait a minute. There's another Jan.
I don't see anybody else here.
No. Yeah,
are you talking to me?
Okay, I've just got a bit confused. All right, it is me. So, I wanted to make a couple of points about the bunkers, about the nuclear bunkers.
Yes.
I found out something.
Right.
Because you've been talking about Johnson and going into his under number 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I may go a bit, I don't know how much time I've got, but I'll do a little bit of a trip around, because I don't know if you remember in the 80s that in the follow-up on the Ban the Bomb, how there was talk about all the tunnels being underground around London, not the underground close stations and things like that. Lots of books have been written about underground London.
Right, you're talking about tunnels underground, but not the underground.
No, not the underground.
Not the underground
system,
underground.
Tunnels.
We're talking about tunnels underground, not the underground.
Yeah, secret.
Right.
Yeah, secret tunnels.
Perfectly clear
now. Because there was discussions about it wasn't just saving people. It was where would all the in the event of a nuclear attack, then that where would all the great artworks be saved? And there's a lot of perhaps military. Maybe we'll never know what's under there. There's supposed to be lots of tunnels under the museums and galleries, but there's other secret ones. So there maybe is some special tunnel leading out from under, number 10. But, no one's supposed to know. I mean, they've got their secret offices, around the civil service. But my point, I was coming to what I wanted to say about these bunkers is that they're not really going to save the type of. They've got nuclear warheads, which are what they call them, buster bunkers.
Bunker busters.
And China apparently has the deepest type of buster. I mean, it's buster bunker. It's proof. The deepest in the earth. They're 2 kilometers down or something that can hold up to 1 million people. China's sort of. No, apparently,
do me a favour. 1 million people.
Yeah, I mean, they've got some shelters.
Where did you read this then, Jan?
It's China, a study that they've done, and it's quite frightening actually. But there's some of the other information, because while we're concentrating, where was it? It's in China. It's known to have the deepest existing bunker, which can hold
1 million people. That's what I heard.
Yeah, able to hold 1 million people.
1 million people.
It's 2 kilometres underground.
Right, no doubt.
And that's the deepest one.
It's about 300 yards, yeah.
300, is it 300 yards?
2 kilometres.
I don't know.
I'm just translating into, into Her Majesty's measurements. 2 kilometres is about 300 metres. I think you'll find that is correct.
Is it not more than that? Because there's some information about the government, about Russia's doomsday shelter is about 300 metres deep in the Ural Mountains.
Right. 300 metres is about 6 miles, yes.
Miles, yeah. Metres. Mm-hmm. Oh, but you say kilometres. The one in China is supposed to be the deepest at 2 kilometres.
8 kilometres to the metre, I think, is the current exchange rate.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm just going by the figures that I've got.
You don't know?
No, I mean able to hold 1 million people.
Right. Well, can you call me back when you check your facts?
No, I've got something else. I'd leave that point alone. I mean, I thought what was interesting is while we're all worried about Vladimir, Putin and his terrible
evil ways, yes.
Yeah, he's terrible. The latest warhead that he's been boasting about, that's can hold 10 nuclear weapons or something. But while we're worried about him, there's this South Korea is putting pressure under America. This is America and Japan. They want to have some alliance with. They want help from America to have nuclear sharing, nuclear sharing, especially South Korea, with the threat from
no doubt.
North Korea.
I'm wishing Vladimir Putin to rain bombs down on Tooting right now, Jan.
Why?
But I do appreciate the information, and thanks for the update, mate.
Oh.
Another satisfied customer. 0345 6060 973. I had to end that call there because I was, borderline hysterical. You're freaking me out. Not a little bit either. Jane says you will get so hammered by Steve next time he's on the radio, it'll be fun to listen to. Well, he better not. Or I'll scream and scream and scream till I'm sick. Gary says, with this cost of living crisis, Steve Allen with his fruit and chocolate has become LBC's in-house food bank. That's right. He's feeding the thousands in here. But don't get any more Nardicots, Steve, because they're rubbish. Tasteless. I'm going to give him a shopping list. Write this down. Let's have Upminster. Keith.
Good morning, Nick.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Great, mate.
So you had a lady on a couple of calls ago, had some problem with state benefits, DWP, ESA and PIF and stuff like that. Was that, is that right?
I don't recall.
Was she, lady, something to do with bank accounts? And,
oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was, I only caught the tail end of that call. What was the lady's actual problem? Because, is she online? Can she go onto the online service rather than trying to hang on to a phone for 3/4 of an hour or something?
Why? Are you in the banking business? Are you calling in to solve her problem?
Well, not exactly, but I have been a carer for 2 different people over the last 5 or 6 years, so and I've had plenty of struggles with the DWP. So
no, I don't think it was the DWP. It was. The banking racket that she was trying to have a conversation with. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there was a couple of other things I'd like to speak about as well, Nick, if that's okay.
Well, let's try one out and see how we go.
Okay. London and the all these secret the secret tunnels and stuff. They do exist. They've been around since the time of Churchill, probably before.
Yeah.
Did you know that the Mall in London, there was a plan during the 60s that they could actually land a plane on the Mall?
I bet they still can.
Probably, because all the traffic islands and stuff, they can get rid of them, and the flagpoles all fold down very easily. And then, like Thunderbirds or something.
Correct. We'll whisk the Queen out of here, out of danger. Yeah.
I mean, she's in Windsor most of the time, or Sandringham.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well,
but if she was in London, and there's Charles and Camilla and
Andy,
William, and
maybe not Andy.
Yeah, I mean, because they could just whisk them around a convoy from Kensington Palace or the other one.
We could get the gruesome twosome out of here. You know, those 2 nice ladies with the satellite dishes strapped to their heads. Those 2.
Yeah. And one more topic, Nick. Do you ever look at LBC on Freeview?
On Freeview?
Yeah, it's one of the ways of watching LBC is on the Freeview TV platform.
Is it?
Now, channel 732, I think.
I did not know that. What, you get visuals?
Well, you don't. That's the point.
Oh.
Classic FM's there as well, and Heart and Capital. But most of the global stations, all they've got is a graphic. They've got the same graphic for about 10 years, and they never change it. They haven't even got the website address on it. They haven't got the telephone number or the Twitter address or anything.
Well, when you say they've got the same graphic, Coca-Cola has got the same graphic, Pepsi's got the same graphic. All companies they get a logo and they stick with it for brand recognition.
Yeah, but LBC's graphic on Freeview, they haven't even got the website address or the Twitter address or the phone number. All it is just this blue and white banner that is totally boring. I mean,
well, when you say boring, you probably mean it's subtle.
All it says LBC, London's Britain's biggest.
Well, what else do you need to know?
Website address, phone number, Twitter address,
right?
All that sort of useful. It's not there. It's not there.
Leave it with me, Keith, and I will personally see to it that something is done. How does that sound?
Have a word with Ashley.
I'll absolutely do that straight away, if not sooner. Thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. Josh texts, Steve Allen is very anti-woke. He keeps saying that the police should leave the climate activists glued to whatever they are glued to until they need the toilet and we themselves. James texts, if one of Jacob Rees-Mogg's years is equivalent to one of ours, this might explain why he is the bookie's favourite to become the Secretary of State for the 18th century. You know what? People have got to stop saying stuff like that because I imagine he loves that. That's his act. Stop playing into it. All of that, sort of fish out of water, man from a different time, all of that stuff. That's his act. Just like Bodger's act is, that sort of Just William thing with the squiffy hair and the untucked shirt. It's considered, it's mannered. It's not real. Put on. People have got to stop playing up to that and reinforcing it. The minister for the 18th century. The amount of times I've read that, and I bet he has a little chuckle to himself. He's like giddy with excitement every time he reads it. Oh, they're really getting it, you know. Painful. Just always remember when his name comes up.
You're better informed than I am. I don't know anything.
Doesn't know anything. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC. It's 12:30. The news headlines with Serena Farrow.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Where is it?
What in blazes goes on inside that head of yours?
There it is. Finally, we heard it. Took a while. Timing. That's what it's all about. Timing. Pam texts, are all Tory MPs thick? Well, get straight to the point, why don't you, Pam? Elliot tweets, you're turning into an old man talking about folding notes. Yeah, what's a pound note, Grandad? Shut up, Elliot. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. I think it's alarming that we have embraced the cashless society so very quickly. And it all came about because people were scared witless to touch other people's money. Because they were going to get the mad bat disease. And we're going to miss it when it's gone. But the banking racket are just doing a happy little giddy dance at the very idea that we have waved goodbye to cash money. Because it does mean total, complete and utter control. Just think of this. You remember, like about a month or so ago, the credit card companies said, right, we're going to switch off the Russians' ability to buy stuff under certain circumstances. If they get, it was something bizarre. I mean, they made a big show of, we're doing our best for the war effort. Not really. If you got a credit card outside Russia, you can't use it inside Russia. like people are running to take a holiday in Russia. Please. Difference does that make? And if you've got a credit card from inside Russia, you can't use it outside Russia. Yeah, well, the reverse is also true. How many people are leaving? Not many. Yes, but that thought kind of was alarming to me. That not a government, a company can just say, right, well, we're switching you off now. You don't get to use money anymore. Just think about that for a moment. How alarming is that? So if you were displeased, a private company who answers to no one, who's got all the money in the world, if they don't like you anymore, they can just turn off your ability to pay for anything if there's no cash money anymore. Isn't that alarming? You should be alarmed. I mean, that is total, complete and utter control. That's more power than a government. They could turn off anybody they like. They could turn off whole countries. Money, cash money. It is total control in many and various different ways. I mean, if you ain't got no cash money anymore, every single thing that you pay for, they'll know about. They'll know how much you paid for it. They'll know what it was. They'll know when you paid for it. They'll know where you paid for it. And you twin that with your mobile phone, which nobody leaves the house without. And they can tell where you were before you went to where you were paying for it, how fast you were going to get there, etc., and how many people you were surrounded by when you paid for it, and who they were, and etc., and so on. 1984 has arrived. It's here. Be afraid. Be very afraid. So, yeah, we should hold on to that cash. And there's so many companies who are saying, who are thinking, thank goodness we don't have to deal with cash. We'll just go cashless. We'll just put a note on the window and saying we don't take cash anymore. And people just shrug their shoulders and go, oh, yeah, okay, no problem. Boop. Everything's a boop and go. And you don't realise how much you're spending anymore. If you leave the house with 20 quid and you run out of 20 quid and you ain't got no money no more, then you don't get to spend any money anymore. But if you've got a card, you can spend until your face falls off. Boop, and go. And it's like everything's free. Nothing costs anything anymore. You don't even look at the price of anything anymore. You go into a bar and you order whatever it is, and they proffer that machine. How many people actually look at the thing to see how much it costs? They don't even tell you how much it costs because the people behind the bar can't add up anymore. They could be pouring pints all night long. You'll ask for 2 pints and they'll have no idea how much that costs. And so they just proffer you the machine and you don't look at how much it is and you just go boop and then take your drinks back to your table and that'll be the end of it. You got no clue as to how much you've just spent. No one does. They could have put 1,000, well, not 1,000, but they could have put 100 quid on that machine and you wouldn't have looked. You just gone boop and walked away. And if you spend the whole day going boop, you've got no idea how much you've spent that day. You've got no way of rationing your spending anymore. And the result of that is that everybody's going to, the debt will increase massively because a lot of small boops make up a massive amount of cash over a yearly basis. I mean, if you had £100 in cash to last you the week, then you probably wouldn't waste it on a frothy coffee every day. A frothy coffee and a bun or a croissant. Because you'd run out of cash real quick. And you wouldn't be able to afford that gorgeous shirt that you had your eye on. But because everything's on a plastic, well, it's like everything's free. You boop and go. And that's you, an indentured servant for the rest of your life to the banking racket. Oh, they are so pleased that we have embraced that cashless society thing. We think that, and as with everything else that has come up over the last, let's say, 20 years, we've given up a massive amount of freedom for a small convenience. A lot of things that we really, really value, like the high street, for instance, we've given that up for a small convenience. Now, most high streets are just litter-blown dumps where tramps and skateboarders go. And then we say, oh, it's a shame about the high street, isn't it? Yeah, well, it's your blooming fault for not using it anymore. A small convenience. Just shop online and somebody brings it to you like it's your birthday every blooming day. Here comes the postman with another present. And the cashless society is a big one. Because if you ain't got no cash no more, then a corporation, just an individual in a corporation, can turn off your ability to buy anything. Just think about it. And it doesn't even have to be some malevolent act on their behalf. It could just be a mistake. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. The computer had a hiccup.
Correct.
It wasn't me, it was the robot.
Affirmative.
Or the internet goes out. What would happen if the internet went out? Then all those boop machines, they wouldn't work no more because that's what they're based on, connecting with a big machine in the sky or in Dallas probably or wherever it might be, middle of a desert somewhere, some giant building the size of 5 football pitches with no windows. It just hums, and everybody's payments goes through it wherever it is. Suppose somebody pulled the plug out. Or, I mean, it is within the realms of possibility that those machines might break down. I mean, computers tend to do that. And then what? Cash. We must hold on to cash. Anyway, Paul says, what's next? Jacob Rees-Mogg spotted reading Shapely Ankle Monthly. Again, you're falling into the trap of thinking that act of his is cute. Stop doing that. Belfast. Hello, Lucia. Which is it?
Lucia.
Lucia.
L-U-C. Or no, I'll spell it.
Spell it.
L-U-C-A-I-G-H.
Wait a minute.
Lucia.
L-U what?
L-U-C. A-I.
A-I.
G-H.
G-H. Luciaigh. Lucia.
Then after that comes Patrice.
Luciaigh.
Lucia, Patrice, Bernadette.
Can I call you Luciaigh?
Fine.
Why? English is a funny language. We just like pepper we just like spray the alphabet around, and you can use some of the letters or not. We're just adding them completely unnecessarily. I'm going to call you Luciaigh.
Well, my name is spelled in the Celtic.
Yes.
In Irish.
Right.
Although it germinates from Rome.
Rum?
Rome. You know where that other crazy people live, of that city?
Oh, Rome. I thought you said rum.
Booze.
Right, okay. So what's up, Lucia?
No, I'm trying to help those people out who are not being able to get bank accounts, and all those books are looking for to get here, there, and everywhere.
Right.
If they have children that were christened or baptized, call it what you like, you know, where they dunk your head with water and not do all that stuff.
A little bit of water. Yes.
Yep, up you go. Well, they're registered in the churches that they were baptized in.
Right.
So they will get all that they need for their documentary, for a passport or whatever.
What? So a religious document works with a bank?
Well, it's the first document you ever had in your life, so it'll be the most important one.
I'm not sure that a bank would see it that way. They probably want a passport or a driving license.
No, well, it works to get a passport. I know that for a fact.
Oh, right. So you need okay. It's a bit like there's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza.
There's a hole in my bucket,
yeah, okay.
Dear Liza.
Right. I just did that, yeah. But it's impossible to stop. That song, once you start it, very, very difficult to stop. Like a Pringle. But
unfortunately, it was my brother and I's party piece.
Oh, really? Well, in that case, before you sing another note, I'll say cheery bye. Thanks very much, Luciaigh. A delight talking to you. What a nice lady. 0345 6060 973. What is it? Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbot, LBC.
This is LBC with Nick Abbot. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
Come on, we're running late.
0345 6060 973. Let's talk to a person in Hatfield called Sam. Sam.
Hi, Nick. How you doing? You all right?
Very well, thanks.
Well, Nick, just a quick one. I'm not going to take a lot of time. I think I've been listening to your conversation quite a lot, or for many years anyway. But it's the first time I've called. I think it's quite relevant for myself to say something regarding the banking and its acceptance of the document.
Yes.
Because I've been in the banking industry, been working for the last 16 years.
Oh, no.
I've opened hundreds and hundreds of accounts.
Oh, no.
I'm not the one who used to get bonuses. Don't worry about it. So it's okay. It's all cool.
No, he's a banker.
All right. I think it's because open charity accounts and worked with a lot of councils and a lot of employment support people, a lot of people with income support and benefits, and the acceptance of the documents if they haven't got documents. So start from here. That I think a lot of people are confused about the acceptance of the documents. And the previous caller said something about religious document.
Yes.
All right. Basically, take it that way. When you are born in United Kingdom, you get a birth certificate which says that you were born in the United Kingdom, and that is who you are. And that's probably the best idea of you being British citizen. All right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this goes. Hang on a minute. This goes back to a nice lady who called. Said she was trying to open an account for her daughter, and she can't find the birth certificate.
Well, it doesn't matter. Birth certificate. Oh, well, daughter depends on what age she is. If she is under 11, then she could be with a birth certificate.
Right.
And if she's above 11, then she needs an ID, like i.e. a passport or something.
Right. She hasn't got one of those.
then definitely there's a problem in opening an account and stuff.
No, that's what she was calling me.
There's an opening. And especially the IDs are British citizen, British, and most of all the United Kingdom passports are single ID. So you can just take the passport or your driver license and they will open an account, no problem. Any bank on the high street, regardless. They will not need, this colleague are talking about personal accounts, all right? So they will open an account regardless of your age. Well, there is age, not minors.
Not minors? What? I mean, that seems a bit unkind. They work their...
For the minors, they need
work
parents,
their face off underground, chipping coal out of the coal face for the benefit of mankind, and they won't let them open a bank account. Why not?
See, the thing is, they need their parents in there as well, involved in it, and they need their parents' consent and their signature, their passports as well, and all of these things, just because until the age of 16, they are still under their parents' thing. When it comes to where someone has got no IDs whatsoever, like the lady said about something with employment support, and the lady couldn't open the account and she had a mortgage with it as well, with the bank and all of that, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what IDs she has. You get credit check individual based on yourself, not with anyone else, like myself and my wife.
But
she cannot open the account for me.
Right, but suppose she doesn't have any financial record or history of any kind whatsoever.
Doesn't matter.
Well, it sounds like it matters because, I mean, if the bank can't look you up, then how can it...
what the bank's argument is, bank is still a business, and having you opening an account, bank giving you an account, it's not your entitlement. It's a facility they provide. And basically, and they can say yes and no, and they don't have to give you the reason.
No, I know
Funny
that.
enough.
Yeah, exactly right. But they're in a unique position where they're sort of at the gate. They are the gatekeepers now, particularly as cash is rapidly becoming not a thing.
True.
They are the gatekeepers to you being able to function as a human being.
True. The thing is, the bank is loaded with so many cautions and so many fines if they don't follow the KYC and due diligence. It's a lot of jargons, a lot of things. I know sometimes I know sitting on my desk, well, I don't do this anymore for almost 3-4 years, but now sitting on the desk and someone comes to me and wants to open an account, and I could see they're in need of an account. I could tell, because, you know, we work in this industry. We know exactly when we talk to people how much genuine they are and how much needy they are. But you know what? We still depend, the system, the fintech, financial technology, softwares will not go next step without certain IDs.
Computer
Nowadays, you can open an account at
says
home.
No.
That's it. That's all we say. Computer said no. So this is it. So I would say to all the viewers, honestly, to having a passport or a driver license, even if it's a learner's driver license, which anyone can get.
Yeah, so
you don't need to.
Your best advice is to keep your cash under the mattress and don't deal with the banking racket in any way, shape or form. I completely agree.
One day it depends on how much cash you've got. That's the thing.
That is good advice there, Sam. Thanks for that. 0345 6060 973. Keep your cash under the mattress and keep your front door key under a plant pot just outside your front door. And only by that method can you be safe. And that is the official advice of LBC. Nick emails, after listening to your show for the past couple of years, I've been conditioned to now hearing your sound effects as part of my own internal thought processes, such as when I find myself thinking or saying, I now follow it up with your soundbite of that lady saying the same. The most irritating one is the guy that says, "Oh, hello," in a very posh voice, a snobby accent.
Oh, hello.
And it's not just those two. Does anyone else have this problem, says Nick. Yeah, I have this problem. I've been listening to it for a lot longer than you have, mate. Yeah, I go around doing exactly that. The one that gets me most is Carol McGiffin. I can't hear or even look at alcohol without thinking.
Booze.
And just like a 2-letter word that you use probably more often than any other. I'm just trying to think of another 2-letter word. There's not many. But it's one of the words that you use probably more often than practically any other word in the language, and that's no.
No.
And that's what I hear every time, pretty much every time I say or hear no. And then there's...
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that so many times now that it's rattling around in my brain. This is the noise that you'll hear if you put your ear to my head. It's just like a racket in there. Please make it stop. Watford. Hello, Barbara.
Oh, hello.
Yes, Barbara.
Do you remember in the 80s when we had them checkbooks? I can't remember what they're called.
Checkbooks?
They used to come off. They were like toilet paper, the old Isle toilet paper. They used to run them through at the counter.
Oh, yeah, they put them on a machine and then they had a thing that just went over your card.
That's right. Do you remember?
I do remember.
Well, my husband said to me one Christmas, he said, we both got one of these each. He said, don't go mad on it, but just use it.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll pay them. And I didn't spend a penny that Christmas. I was just doing the card. And he come home. I said, I've got loads of money. So he said, well, haven't you used the money as well? I said, no, I just used that thing you gave me. I can't remember the life of what they were called.
A checkbook? You're talking about a checkbook?
No, it was different to a checkbook. It was very fine paper.
Yes, that's right. It was like sort of municipal toilet paper, wasn't it? Which was kind of made out of, I don't know what it was made out of, almost like plastic. No good for its stated purpose at all. Yeah, it was like see-through. It was like wax paper, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember that.
And I used that all over Christmas. He went bloody mad. But as you say about the pinging, I do that myself because I go out shopping and I think, oh, that's an offer. I bet one of the kids would like that.
Yeah.
Ping.
Don't do it, Barbara.
I know. I try not to now. And another time, I pinged something and I thought, that's a really good offer. And she's gone, £55, please.
How much?
And I've gone red as a beetroot and said, oh, that's fine, thank you. And I thought, oh, my God,
Well,
I've read it wrong.
You don't want to draw attention to yourself. You just say, that's exactly how much I thought it was going to be. And good day to you, sir. All right. Thanks a lot, Barbara. Maintain composure at all times and please restrain yourself. No more pinging. Peter tweets, I had to feel sorry for the person who'd lost £120 in the manner that you described. Who lost £120? Who lost £120?
Can't remember.
No, we can't remember. We don't listen to this show. The host is an idiot. He says, I had to feel sorry for the person... No, Nick, you're not an idiot. Why do you keep putting yourself down like that? You're a unique and special person. Can I please get a bit of help in here? Peter says, I had to feel sorry for the person who'd lost £120 in the manner you described that I found scattered along the pavement, lying perfectly flat within a few feet from my property. Placing a phone inside your pocket containing cash is also very unwise. Oh, he's talking about if you put your hand in your... Because I put cash in my pocket, and then occasionally, when it's blooming freezing outside, you put your hand in your pocket to keep it warm, and when you pull your hand out, all your cash just it all comes out with you. Because of this plastic money that they got now. I don't like it, but I do want more of it. Let me be absolutely clear about that. Gwenny, and putting money on your phone, it does seem a bit daft. I mean, come on, people. That just is inviting disaster, that is. Everything's on your blooming phone now. And what happens if your phone breaks? Phones break. I see people going in and out of the tube putting their phones on there. If your phone breaks, they won't let you out of the tube system. You'll be in there forever. But at least you'll survive a nuclear holocaust. I'm going to be back tonight at 10. Stick around. I have to scroll right to the bottom of these 1,000 texts, which I will start tonight's show with. So if you haven't been read out yet, then you will be. I'll be back tonight at 10 o'clock. Ian Payne is here at 4, but first it's Clive Bull.
Nick, thank you. Coming up, new government figures suggest 4 in 10 of us have cut down on the amount of food that we're buying, and 91% say their cost of living has risen. So how real is the financial squeeze to you, and could the government be doing more? What is Vladimir Putin really like? We'll be finding out what politicians and diplomats who've been in the room with Putin think about who he is. The LBC tech correspondent Will Guyatt will be attendant. 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 Will Guyatt will be